Well, good morning and welcome to the weekend. This is Mornings with Michael for informational, educational, and sometimes entertainment purposes. So I have a PowerPoint presentation I put together here. Let me just share this screen with you and we'll get right to it. So April is Financial Literacy Month. April is finished, so let's take a look at some of the things that happened. This is our Friday's look at the heat map. Microsoft kind of saved the market this week with its earnings. And then Apple is coming out on Monday, so we'll see how that bodes. It looks like the market is only projected to, the S&P anyway, is only projected to move 72 points next week. And it's kind of interesting because it moved that much on one or 2 days this week. So we'll see if it overshoots that is projected on the options market, but we'll continue to see. Nvidia moved about 2% on Friday, and Amazon, they weren't very happy with the AWS, Amazon Web Services, declining. So their earnings came in quite well, but they're really worried about their AWS numbers. Tesla was up 2.57%, but Tesla has been down quite a bit, so it still remains at risk. And we'll be going over strongest sectors and look at a chart of these ETFs in a little bit. Still believe that annuity, and this has a similar kind of look inside of a life insurance policy. You don't have a risk of losing money when the market goes down. And we'll take a look at JP Morgan's prediction for the summer a little later. So always steps up, and doesn't go back. So those of you who have trouble sleeping at night, highly recommend looking at an annuity, or some people call them VUL or IUL life insurance policies. So here we go. This is the earnings. The S&P and the NASDAQ, Dow Industrial, kind of hid some of the negativity, but this is a negative earnings results. 22% down, 30% down, 16%, 23%. You can just kind of take a look here. The earnings resulted in big losses. Look at this, Southwest Airlines down 5% on their earnings. Aspen Technology Software down nearly 27%. So here we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This dotted line was a projected retreat. My good friend AJ Monte is an incredible technician. I follow him quite regularly. This is where he predicted to go, and it came down close. So it looks like this has some potential to go up. Both the CCI and the stochastics are rising, although this is quite a jump. This is the diversion, so possibility of a pullback here, but with volume going up, tend to believe that there's more room on the upside for the industrials here. Take a look at where all the commercial banks are. We'll have a chance to look at KRE a little later, the regional banking sector, but this is where the IWM small capitalization, there's a gap right here, right where this blue line is. It's highly likely that it'll take out this gap. The volume is slightly lower, so that's something to worry about. And it is bouncing off the oversold levels here on both the CCI and the stochastics. So now we move on to the NASDAQ, the QQQ. this is a potential resistance area here on the NASDAQ, but there's a gap over here, and most gaps fill. I think it has a potential of going slightly higher before it starts to pull back. So once again, this is kind of a divergence over here, high jump in both the stochastics and the CCI. This is rarely seen. Usually you get more of a jagged up and down. For it to just jump like this, it looks like, yeah, there is a little bit declining volume, so that is something to watch for. First, we're going to take a look at the VIX before we look at the S&P 500. The VIX kind of spiked up here around a little over 19. Now it's pulled back to 16. Pulled up back here, both on the stochastics and the CCI. I believe at some point it's going to bounce up here shortly and go up to around 21. So we'll continue to watch that. And now here we go on the S&P 500. Looks like there's not really a gap to fill, but this is a resistance up here. I think this is around 418. So the S&P has been bouncing between, looks like about 406 to 418. And when it gets up to here, we believe that there's going to be a pullback because there's a wide divergence from where its moving average is. And this is a huge spike up, which we've been showing all the indexes, and it looks like it's a declining volume over here as well. So let's take, this is a look at the skew, the volatility of the VIX index. The skew is now reaching some of its highest levels in over a year. This is a three-year chart. So this is internal volatility of the indexes that is not quite shown in the VIX. Now we move on to geopolitical news. Argentina says it will pay for Chinese imports in yuan instead of dollars. We've been talking about this for a long time, so continue watching gold as dollar pulls back. This may take a while for all of this to kind of transpire and get rid of some of these countries using the dollar, but it is a big risk for the dollar. Renewed financial stress. Bloomberg is reporting the banking situation has not been cured. And First Republic just shows us that it dropped from over 100 down to 5, and now it's in the $3 category. Central banks double down on gold buying. Like we just said, countries are moving away from the dollar into the yuan. And so a lot of central banks continue to buy gold to prop up their currencies. U.S. economic growth slows to 1.1% while inflation accelerates. That's in the last report that came out on Wednesday. And finally, JP Morgan says the S&P 500 could hit 3,500 by early summer. So that's what we're looking at with the VIX and the S&P 500. So we'll just stay tuned. I'm going to stop our share of our PowerPoint, share a screen of some of the ETFs, show a little bit of wild action on Friday on some Hong Kong issues. Let's go take a look at those here. Top Financial Group was one of those. Top, at one point was up over 700%. Went up to 253.29, closed in the bottom 25% of its range, which isn't a good sign. So there's a lot of selling coming in as well. And then more selling after the market. So the market closed at 108, and then after hours, it closed down another 45%. So that's a big ouch. And I believe other one was Megal. Let's see if Magic Empire Global, Hong Kong-based company, operates financial services as well. They were up 331%, but the good sign for them that they closed in the top of their range. They were down 32%, but nowhere near what we saw in the other stock. So we'll just continue to watch a couple of these things. And what I said on Friday, Beazer Homes was doing well. Seems like all of the housing stocks are doing well, and it closed at the top of its range, up 24% on a decline in earnings of 22%. So much better than was expected, I guess. Let's take a look at a few of these trending ETFs. So this is a commercial services sector, continues to do well. This is where Meta, Google are all kind of situated. Got high volume here on Thursday, pretty close to average volume on Friday, but it continues to rise. And here's a surprising one that we've seen. Real estate is doing better than we expected. We'll continue to watch this. This has popped up over the 10, 20, and 50-day moving averages. It was relatively good volume compared to what we've had over here. It's always good to sell off on low volume and rise on higher volume. We kind of, as we move away from the big cap techs where everybody sighed a sigh of relief that they came through for the market and kind of saved the market this last week. Industrials is an area that I think that a lot of funds may be pushing their money to. So we'll continue to watch this and see how the industrials are doing. Consumer sector remains pretty strong. It's remained above all of its moving averages, which is kind of rare for an index, as we can see. Take a quick look at the semiconductors. They're popping up about, had a big sell-off, and now they're popping up. This is big help to NVIDIA and AMD. A look at AMD on Friday. Popped up, they got their earnings in 3 days, popped up to all their moving averages, this little blue area, which is a breakout area where it had broke out before and has been continually selling off, but been selling off on low volume. So we'll watch that. Look at NVIDIA. Pretty strong move here, although it was on lower volume. Continue to watch that, and their earnings aren't for another 25 days. Building materials is another area that looks pretty strong. It's strong move on Friday. And we did look at communications already. XLK, technology sector had a pretty good day. We'll just see if it's right about at a breakout point. So we'll have to continue to watch that. Take a look at our financials. Financials had a good day, but they've had a pretty strong sell-off. So they'd really have to break up above at least the 50-day and get pretty close to this 200-day before really look interesting. Biotech also had a strong day. Pretty low volume though. It's just kind of bouncing off of oversold levels. And we'll take a look at one. See if we can get to our housing area here. I think this is one of the stronger sectors along with communications. Just draw our line here. It's getting a little extended over here. Was once again higher than average volume. We just look at all these blue volume bars. These were telling us where the money was moving. So that's kind of where we see things going. And that's our report for this weekend. Continue to watch Mornings with Michael. We're going to have a good Mornings with Michael podcast with small business leader next week. So look forward to that. In the meantime, hope everybody has a great weekend. Go out there, continue some leisure activities. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your family, and we look forward to seeing you again on Monday. Mornings with Michael has been brought to you for informational, educational, and sometimes entertainment purposes. Have a great weekend.